Hey everybody, welcome to today's webinar. Today I'm going to teach you how to make money online without spending money. Almost 4 billion people search Google every day asking how to make money online. And today in this webinar, I want to help give you some answers to answer this question. I'm Walida Cherie, founder of Build Young, Grow Wealthy, which is dedicated to helping millennials to build their income while they're young and grow wealthy. To get the most from this training, you'll need to close all your tabs and apps on your device. Make sure you are in a distraction and noise-free environment. Grab a pen and notebook and be open-minded to new possibilities. Today we will cover how you can make money from anywhere in the world as long as you have a mobile device and internet. And a side piece, in order for anything that I tell you today to work, you'll need to put in time and effort for anything to work for you to make money. So who is this webinar for? This webinar is for people who are tired of living paycheck to paycheck. If you feel stressed out because you don't know how to earn more money without getting another job, or if you just simply want to earn extra money to reach your money goals. My goal for this webinar is to introduce you to various ways to make money online, to help you to get some extra cash in your bank account, and of course, have fun in the process while doing it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is paid surveys. The reason why I want to mention this one is because you do have the potential to make money, but just being realistic, this is one of those under $1,000 a month goals if you're trying to make money. So you could make roughly a few dollars to, like I said, about $1,000, but I wouldn't depend on paid surveys to make you a billionaire. So why do you want to do paid surveys, or why should you consider it? Well, surveys help businesses to grow. They help companies raise its profit margins and lower its return percentage. So most of all though, surveys tell companies what their customers and their prospects are thinking. This is also a great way to help the business to implement changes before they launch things. So one of the biggest companies out there for doing surveys is called Swagbucks. So just to kind of give you an idea, each of these you can do surveys, but some offer kind of like swag bucks, the option where you can accumulate points and get gift cards, or you can use these to actually get cash. Now with inbox dollars, unlike all the rest, you are going to get surveys in your inbox, your email inbox, and you can choose which ones you want to do and which ones you don't want to do. Now, the thing about inbox dollars that you should consider is that it does disclose how much money you're going to make per survey, so you're not kind of bummed out if you're not reaching your goal. With Survey Junkie, unlike all the rest, you are actually going to do just surveys. The other options, they give you options to like watch videos or to go to different restaurants and test things out, things like that. But with Survey Junkie, if you simply only want to do surveys, this may be for you. The good thing about Survey Junkie, though, that I have noticed is that they pay better than other companies that you see here. The reason is because typically they may have surveys that are more time consuming. Therefore, they're going to pay you a little bit more for your time. So you can get potentially $50 or more an hour just for taking a survey. Now, I do want to tell you a disclaimer for all of these surveys companies out here. Typically, especially Swagbucks, you may not get approved for all of the surveys that you want to do. So basically how it works is, say they have a demographic criteria. And maybe the criteria is you need to live in a big city, you need to be a female, you need to be age 26, you need to be working in retail, etc., etc. The thing is that if you don't meet that criteria, then that's not going to help them to get the results they're looking for. Because again, you're trying to help these companies to make profit, but they can't essentially make good profit if the customers that they are targeting aren't getting the surveys. Another thing I want to tell you is that on average, you can make $6 to $7 an hour. You don't make any money scrolling on social media. So at least if you spend an hour a day making $6 to $7 on average doing surveys, that's some extra money that, like I said, you can allocate that however you need to. If on average you can make like minimum wage, under minimum wage, or about minimum wage, I would say if you need that extra money, then go ahead and do the surveys at least an hour a day over a 30-day period. Test it out, see if it's something you like. If you really like it and it's something that you think you want to keep doing it. If not, this is not the only option. This is the first thing I'm going to introduce to you, but it's not the only option out there. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is blogging, and I absolutely love to write. So if you're a writer like me, then this is a good option for you. Let me tell you why I think blogging is still something that you should consider in the year of 2020 and beyond. The reason is because there are people that actually still like to read things. So of course you have audio and you have visuals and things like that, but there are some people who really just like reading. So blogging isn't dead. There's going to always be people out there that like to read blogs. But I will tell you that traditionally women read blogs more than men. Men traditionally don't read as many blogs, but there are still men out there that do. So if you're a guy who's watching and you're like, well, I love to write, my market is men, what I would say is even if you don't monetize specifically from the writing, I would still do it because you can get what's called affiliates, or you can get sponsors who they will use your blog to help make them money, and you make money from the percentage of money that they make. Now, I want to show you a platform that I personally use, and I want to explain to you why I like it. So, Medium is a platform that I use, and I was introduced to this by a guy named John Morrow, and he is my blogging coach. Now, the reason why I like Medium is because you don't need to have a website, you don't have to have a domain name, you don't have to have any money to invest because it's a free platform, and there are millions of people that read Medium. They have an app, so your readers can read it on the app. They have it where you can read it online. So your readers aren't limited to, just the traditional website. Now, the bad side of blogging is that if your content does not reach your audience, if you don't have like sponsorships and affiliates, then your content may not ever reach your ideal customer. Therefore, you may not monetize. So people may read your content, but you may not monetize off of it just simply because people are reading it. It has to be like really good in order for Medium to push it out to a lot of people for you to actually get paid. Because what they'll need to do is interact with your blog. So they'll need to do what's called upvotes. They'll need to clap because they have little clapping icons on there, or they can leave comments. And as much as interaction as you can get on your blog, the more you'll reach people and the more money you'll get paid. So that is something to consider for blogging, is that this is not an overnight sensation. This will take time, but it can pay off over time. Now, these other two are two other platforms you can use. I'm not going to go into great detail here, but I do know that these are some more popular options as well. And they have, I believe, a free and a paid option. They have free, but I think there's also a paid version that you can do too on these different sites. Now, here's one that I think everybody should do regardless if you get paid, and it's posting YouTube videos. If you have information that you can share with people, I highly recommend that you try using YouTube to get your message out there. Just like blogging, it's not going to be an overnight sensation, but the more you practice, the better you'll be. Now, I do want to give you a few tips if you decide to become a serious YouTuber on the do's and the don'ts. Number one, when you start your YouTube channel, don't believe the hype that you have to have like all this expensive equipment, because you really don't. All you really need is your phone, or if you don't have a phone, maybe your tablet or a computer. As long as you have a camera and audio, you should be good to go. However, another thing that is really, really important is that you have great content. So really consider the content that you're putting out there, because people are on there because they want to learn from you. So become the expert in your space. I don't care if it's juggling basketballs in the air. Just be really good at it, because people want to see what they came to your channel for. It doesn't matter how good your content is if your audio sucks. So whatever you do, make sure you are in an environment that's distraction free of noise. And they also don't want to hear a static or like running water and things like that. So just try to find a time when it's least noisy. So make good content, but also have good audio. And even if your camera isn't the best, if you have those two things, you can really rock on YouTube. But there is one more thing that you should know. YouTube, just like every other platform, does have its pros and cons. And one of the things is that they have algorithms. So no matter how good your content is or how good your audio and your video quality is, you still may not get your reach because of the algorithm. So what you'd have to do is really study YouTube. But I just wanted to give you this as an option so you know you actually can use YouTube, which is a free platform to make money. Now, here is another one, and I personally am not a freelance person, but I have paid freelancers to do work for me and my business. So that is why I wanted to talk to you about this one. And the company that I've used the most is Fiverr. So I'm going to speak more on Fiverr because I've personally used Fiverr to tell you like what I like, what I don't like, and what you can expect from Fiverr. So just to tell you a little bit about Fiverr, it is very robust. It has a lot of things you can do with Fiverr. So most people may think like only photography or graphic design or maybe like a copywriter, but you can do anything basically on Fiverr. So I really like it. I was using Fiverr for my graphic design. I was using Fiverr to edit my blogs. I use Fiverr to create logos for me in whiteboards. So any whiteboards that you see, Fiverr, somebody from Fiverr made it. And then infographics. Back in the day, I had people doing it for me, but now I know how to do it myself. But yeah, Fiverr is a really good resource. And I highly recommend using Fiverr because it's inexpensive for the person who's paying. So like me, when I use it, it's very inexpensive. But you can determine how much money you want to make. And I don't know how much money Fiverr takes from your percentage. And I don't think it's a lot if they do take anything. But you get to determine your own prices. Now, what my recommendation would be for you is if you decide to have your service have premium prices, you should always over deliver. Because the worst thing ever is when somebody like myself pay you your premium price, but the product you deliver is not that great. And I could have saved money by going with the lesser person. So basically what's going to happen is like I search in the type box, or I can go to the drop box, choose what I want as a consumer, and then all of these people in that category are going to pop up. It's going to show like ratings, and it's going to allow you to read reviews. Me personally, I always, outside of price, I look at people's ratings and read the reviews before I request for them to do work for me. So that really, really matters. And what you don't want to do is, especially if you're getting started, is you do not want to be lazy and you do not want to under deliver, because if people start to put bad reviews, you're not going to survive long on Fiverr or any platform for that case. Now, these are other options. I have not used any of these, so I want to put that out there, but I have done research and I have heard other entrepreneurs and other people use these different resources, so they are good. Upwork has been around for a long time, and so that's one that you may want to consider if you like working with bigger pocket people, like corporate people. Guru, I didn't put that on here, but Guru is also another option where corporations have bigger budgets, and so they're able to pay more money. So you can use any of the ones that I'm showing you, but I just want you to know that whatever you can do, whether you are good at helping people brand with social media, or if you are good at editing, if you're a photographer, if you're a web designer, if you're a graphic designer, if you are a whiteboarder, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can do, if you're good at it, you should jump on one of these sites and get started today making money. Now, here's one that I am known for, and the platforms that I first came in contact was Teachable. So I want to talk to you about Teachable first, and then I'll give you my insight about Thinkific. I found out about Teachable. It was free to get started, so I was very attracted to that, and it was very easy to use. So that is why I chose Teachable. In addition to that, they have a library where it basically shows you step by step how to build your school and any other questions you have to try to monetize using your online school. So I really like Teachable for that purpose. Now with Thinkific, it's similar to Teachable, but it's a little bit different. So Thinkific, I think, is a little bit more advanced. It's still easy to use, but it's a little bit more advanced than Teachable. What I like about Thinkific, though, is that they have a free option where you can have unlimited students. Teachable had that, but over the years, they've changed that policy. And last year, I believe they said you can only have 10 students for free. And now I think currently you can't have a free school at all. It's still inexpensive inexpensive to use, but currently, unfortunately, Teachable does not offer unlimited students for free. So if you have absolutely no money, I say go to Thinkific and get started with creating your school there. With Teachable, what I would say is that if you have a small budget, you should use Teachable, especially if you want all those extra resources. Now, if you are really good at teaching English, this option is for you. And one of the companies that I like is VIPKid. If you can teach English, like if you speak English, you can do this. They'll teach you all the like how to teach. You just need to know how to speak English very fluently. The thing about VIPKid though is that you have to have a bachelor's degree or higher in any subject. So if you don't have a degree, this is not for you. And understand before trying to apply to get this job. Now, I like it because it is flexible. You can choose how many days a week and how much time you work every single day based upon your availability. So it's not like you're set at different hours. You do get to choose. You can earn the most money between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Monday through Saturday. And then I think he said 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So those are like the hot times to make the most money. So again, you can make money at any time, but that's like where it's most activity because you have to consider these countries that you're going to be helping to teach English. They are on a different time zone and they're usually like a half day to a day ahead of us. So that's why those time zones are better for them because that's when their kids are online. You'll have to do a video tutorial teaching, but they're going to mentor and show you videos on how to do the little lesson first. So don't freak out if you've never taught before. They'll show you exactly what you'll need to do. They're going to have somebody do a video and it's going to walk you step by step and they're going to give you a mentor and all that. So don't worry about that. Okay, they will show you how to teach. But another thing you need to consider is that they start off at $20 an hour on up, but it depends on your degree. So if you have a bachelor's degree versus a master's degree, if you taught versus if you never taught, they take all of that into account when they're trying to determine whether you'll be a good candidate to get whatever hourly wage. Online tutoring is another one. I really think online tutoring is like the future. So if you have a really good skill set in teaching in any subject, I would say you should do online tutoring because now more than ever, you are in demand. So I highly recommend if you have, high energy, if you have good knowledge, that you consider doing online tutoring. And I want to show you a few options. So here are a few options for online tutoring. I have not used any of these. I did my research and they came out clean. So that's why I wanted to show them to you. But these are some really good options if you would like to tutor. There are many out there. I always say do your homework before going through the process. As you can see, tutor.com is actually in service with the Princeton Review. So you know that's going to be a good one. And these other two, they also have pretty good reviews. So I would say give them a shot as well. Now, if you are an arts and craft type of person, this next option is definitely for you. Now, the website that I hear people rave about, especially on Pinterest, is Etsy. And I highly recommend that you get you an Etsy account if you are some type of artist. If you like make jewelry, if you paint, if you like make quotes or something like that. Whatever it is, if it's artsy, you have a high chance when selling it on Etsy. So I would say this is a free option. You can put your products on there. I'm not sure how much percentage Etsy takes from you to use their platform, but you don't have to have your own online website, your own shopping cart, or any of that, which is costly. So even if they take a couple of percentages off of your profit, it is still cheaper initially than getting started with your own website and things like that. So definitely consider Etsy if you are an arts and craft type of person. Don't worry, guys, we are almost done. So, virtual assistant. Virtual assistants now are really in demand, especially because people are working from home. If you have organization skills, if you're good at typing, if you're good at like phone calls and things like that, you may want to consider a virtual assistant. And there are a plethora of options for where you can put in your application to become a virtual assistant. But Fiverr and Upwork are two that I know that people use to get virtual assistants. So I would definitely look into those two. But again, do your research because there are other options. But these are two that I know of that has the virtual assistant option that you can begin applying and working today. Now with this last option, this is selling stock photos. So if you are a photographer, then this is a good option for you. Let's just say you are taking a picture of a coffee mug, but once you take that picture, it never goes anywhere. It stays in your phone or your camera, and nobody ever sees that picture again. You may post it on Instagram, but that's about it. Well, if you sell your stock photo, so say this mug photo you just took, then you can sell it and make profit. Because somebody like myself, who's an entrepreneur who has no photography skills, if I'm creating, let's just say a blog, and I need a picture to represent that blog, I can pay to use your photo and you can get paid for allowing me to use it. So that is why I think if you're a photographer, this is like a no-brainer that you sell your stock photos for pictures you definitely know you're never going to use again. And iStock is a starting point. Again, there are many options out there, but iStock and Pexels is one that I use also. Consider both of those, but you can sell your photos to these different companies, and then when people use it, they can either pay per use, meaning every time somebody uses it, they can pay, or people can pay a subscription, and then you get paid like a small fee per month. If you're a photographer, like I said, this is always an option. So I do hope that today's webinar really helps you. I do hope that you can choose at least one of these options. Give it a shot for 30 to 60 days. Use whatever you think is best fit for your personality. Try one, give it your all, follow the steps. Do not try to cheat, because if you try to cheat the system, you will not make results. I hope that you actually can start making money online. But until then, thanks for joining the webinar, and I will see you in the next video.